Good evening, everybody. With the webcast working, a very warm welcome to this meeting of Braintree District Council Cabinet. Delighted to welcome to the Cabinet table this evening for her first meeting as the new Deputy Cabinet Member in the Deputy Leader's portfolio and Special Lead Member for Climate Change and Sustainability, Councillor Diana Garrod. Sitting on the deputies' bench, all sitting so far away, I think you're having the meeting in Headingham, it seems to be. But nice to see you all over there. Also delighted to welcome in his capacity as Chairman of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor Paul Heath. Thank you for joining us this evening, and to officers present in the public gallery. As always, Deputy Cabinet members, attendees from other groups, Scrutiny Chair, sitting around the table, very welcome to participate in the discussion, the debate this evening, but only the full members of Cabinet can vote. Majority of the meeting is in public session. We do have an item 12, that we must have in private session. So at the end of public session, I'll be asking for colleagues' approval to go into private session. And if we have members of the public present at that time, we would have to ask them to leave the meeting. We'll start with apologies for absence. Apologies have been received from the leader, Councillor Butland, and therefore I'll be chairing this evening's meeting. Councillor Rishi, who is in Great Notley with dealing with some pertinent local issues this evening and can't be with us. And I think that's all. Oh, sorry, Councillor Jeffers from the Labour group as well. I think, Chloe, that's all the apologies received this evening. Excellent, thank you. Right, well, we'll then move on to declarations of interest. Any colleagues present like to have any? Do they have any declarable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest they would wish to declare? I might just declare as a member of Essex County Council, because with reference to annual plan and some various other items on the agenda, Essex County Council is likely to be mentioned. I'm looking at other colleagues if they feel appropriate to it. Councillor Bowes-Flint for the same, and Councillor Schwer for the same. Non-pecuniary interest as members of Essex County Council. Thank you. Duly noted. Item number 3, the minutes of the previous meeting. To approve as a correct record the minutes of the meeting of Cabinet held on 4th of March 2024. Copies circulated. Cabinet colleagues, do I have your permission to sign these as a true record? Agreed? Agreed. Thank you very much indeed. Lovely. Sorry, Kim. Thank you very much indeed. Excellent. Right, we'll go on to item number 5, which is the award of the contract for refuge and recycling sacks, and I'll introduce this item. And whilst this is a very important item, it's a relatively... Oh, I do apologise. Complete inadequacy as chairman. No, we've got no members of the public wishing to speak in public question time. My apologies. You weren't that quick to hold me up on that one, folks, but never mind. My enthusiasm for item number 5, we'll now move on to that. The award of contract for refuse and recycling sacks. Now, this is an important decision we are making today, but a relatively straightforward procedure, and that is to award a 12-month contract to Paramount Packaging for the 24-25 supply of refuse, recycling and street cleansing sacks for a total value of $244,000. And this is a procurement exercise we have to do every year. We distribute sacks to residents and have a supply available at certain locations during the across the Braintree district. We have undertaken a methodical procurement process and details of the framework and the weighting attributed to the various different suppliers. We had 7 firm intentions with intentions of wanting to supply with quotations, and therefore a decision has been taken that we award the contract to Paramount Packaging. Colleagues, I'm happy to move that, but if there's any comments or questions, please do indicate. Councillor Bowes-Flint.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I, while I'm happy to second the motion, Can I just check that this is not the company that provided those rolls of recycling sacks a few years ago that you couldn't literally separate? You tried to rip them and it ripped the bag, so you wasted as many as you tried to use. Thank you.
Unless an officer has any more operational detail on that, my understanding is that when residents receive these bags, they will find them to be user friendly. I'm not seeing any. Thank you. So, Cabinet colleagues, do I have your agreement for that, please? Agreed. Thank you very much indeed. That takes us on to item 6, which is the skate park refurbishment project. And this is another decision that we need to take this evening, but one I think we're very happy and pleased to bring forward because it is as a direct result of further engagement with the community. In December, we agreed a package for the refurbishment and essential works for a number of our skate parks across the Braintree district. Having further consulted with local residents, it was perceived that the site at Spa Road did not provide potentially enough options for younger people and for young children and those who are wanting to get into this sort of activity. So therefore, speaking with our providers, we've made some adjustments to the initial scheme. I know this has found favour with the local community and the local members. So the decision that we would like Cabinet to take this evening is to agree an additional £24,999 of Section 106 money to be added to the pot that's been allocated for these works to bring about this additionality in the scheme. This is another really good news story. Delivery on the ground, Section 106 contributions from development, and we're now seeing the benefits in local communities. So an important one, but again, a relatively straightforward decision for us this evening. I'm delighted to take any comments or questions on that. Councillor Heath and then Councillor Mrs Pell. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Yeah, I also attended the public briefing at Spring Lodge in Witham for that park, and even though I didn't understand half the things that the people were talking about with their 360s and backwards flips and whatever, the officers that were running the event did. This was the design that they drew up between them and the skaters, and it is really pleasing to see that it's been listened to and taken on board.
Councillor Heath, thank you very much indeed for that. Councillor Mrs Pell.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. I too am pleased that Housted's one is getting off the ground. I believe it was starting today, the work, so whether it has actually started, and I'm pleased that it'll be done in time for the school holidays when the children actually want to use this. But the consultation was okay. I went to that as well, and they were quite happy with what they was listening to. So thank you.
Councillor Mrs Pell, thank you very much indeed for that. And yes, we're just focusing on the additionality as a result of the Spa Road, but of course this is to deliver improvements at Weavers Park, Spa Road and Ramsey Road in Helsted. So one in each of the 3 main towns of the district. So good news all round. So if there's nothing else, if Cabinet colleagues are happy to agree. Agreed? Agreed. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Which then brings us to the annual plan. And delighted to introduce this, the annual plan for 2024-25, and thank member colleagues and particularly officers who have been working on this and put together the, I think, extremely visual and very enjoyable read that actually is the annual plan for this year. In particular, thanks to Tracy Hedford. And by means of a bit of a flavour of the plan, the annual plan sets out our key actions, activities and measures of performance to deliver on the priorities of our recently adopted new corporate strategy. The Council's vision is to create a district of opportunity where communities can thrive, people prosper and our environment is treasured for all to enjoy, and it underpins the planned activities for the coming year. And a flavour of some of the focal points are supporting residents through the underlying challenges of cost of living crisis, working with our partners to increase the availability of affordable homes, incentives for landlords, and to offer affordable rented accommodation supporting those in need of energy-saving upgrades, more community involvement in local planning policies, I think very important as we're going through this period of review of the local plan, utilising funding to deliver practical support to women and girls across communities within Halstead through our Safer Streets programme. Delighted that that funding was secured, I think, in the back end of last year. Really positive news that was for Halstead. And delivering more initiatives to help residents reduce their carbon emissions and making council buildings more carbon neutral, including solar panels at Whittam Leisure Centre and decarbonising council vehicles. This is all working in conjunction alongside the Fit for Future transformation programme, which colleagues have been updated upon and will continue to be updated as we go through the spring and summer this year, and directly responding to the peer challenge that we had in the autumn of last year. Follow-up meetings with Cabinet colleagues and senior officers are taking place next week. In a couple of weeks' time, yes, in early June. I'm looking forward to updating progress on that. I won't say any more at this stage, but I'm very happy to take comments or questions. But in the first instance, I might just offer it up to Cabinet colleagues for some of their thoughts and things that they would particularly like to reflect on in the annual plan. So, Cabinet colleagues, over to you. And Councillor Spray first. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, this is a very good, very sound document. I'm pleased that just one of the many strands of this is planning, which in this case is about continuing to deliver good quality homes for our district, both for the towns but also for the rural areas. And along with that, encouraging developers to produce not just good design, but also to have a mind towards things like biodiversity net gain, providing vehicle charging points, solar panels, and so on, as far as we can. There are a number of supplementary planning documents which are going to come along over the next 12 months, alongside our review of the local plan, all with the aim of bringing to planning committee really high quality applications, which hopefully the planning committee will be pleased to approve, and which will continue to contribute towards the number of homes that we are providing for residents. And in particular, of course, we always have a focus on providing as much affordable housing as we can. So yes, I'm very pleased to to be able to support this tonight. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Mrs. Spray. Any other colleague like to say anything at this stage? Oh, technically, I do apologise because you're sitting so far away, I can't see. Councillor Schwer, first of all, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'd just like to speak briefly in support of what Councillor Spray was mentioning about the increase in the quality of designs and the biodiversity net gain. But actually, overall, the huge increase, I think, the potential of landscaping, and this landscaping and increasing green spaces is actually also helping us in our levelling up. It's also helping with our mental health and getting people out and healthy into the green spaces as well. So, I mean, planning costs us an awful lot, but it's a huge improvement. And also, I'm very pleased to see the Horizon 120, the continuation of the success of that, and what that is giving to Braintree District with the opportunity of skills and jobs across the district. And I think the plan is very well founded and is moving forward in a great direction for all of the residents and businesses of Braintree District.
Thank you, Councillor Schwer. Councillor Garrett.
Yes, hello. This is an excellent document. I love the way that it's giving the outcome and also a prospective end date, so that residents can be clear about what actions we're taking. But particularly with regards to the waste, with the new legislation coming in, I think we've written out exactly here what we plan to do and to help residents control the amount of waste they have. So I'm very pleased to support this document. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Garrett. Councillor Mrs. Pell.
Just a comment, Mr Chairman, on the bit about Health Watch Essex, that they're going to have this raised awareness of men's health and well-being. Are they going to do the same for women? Because a lot of women are struggling with their families. They can't work because they've got to look after the children, worrying about the money, and all sorts of things that they need to be treated equally.
Councillor Mrs Pell, thank you for that. Councillor Bowles-Flynn, did you want to come in on that?
Yes, we already do it for women. And it's a lot easier to assist and help with females than it is males, because males will not come forward and ask or seek help so easily because whatever reason it is. But we provide, or we will look to provide, the same for both men and women, and because that is important and we support them both. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you for that. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Bowers.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, just it's a very, very good document, and I fully support it myself. Just sort of bring the focus to, as well as the three sort of key areas of the communities, the prosperity and the environment. It's good to see the fit for the future. Obviously, is clearly identified within the document, and also the actions that we are agreeing as part of the corporate peer challenge. From myself, in my own sort of portfolio, the reference on the actions that will be taken in year in regards sort of stretching but achievable catchable savings to support the MTFS. Good to see about the approach and the timetabling reviews of current services and how that will feed into optimised service delivery and the use of resources, and the development of the asset management strategy, which is a key piece of work that fits into the asset management stream as part of the Fit for the Future, but also how that will feed into the ongoing operational asset requirements and opportunities, which we will see more of as we go forward with that key piece of work. And also just to mention on the corporate peer challenge part, in regards the two bits, the part about the innovation and looking at the risk management part of what we do. Obviously, it's a big thing of what we do as an authority. We already have a mature approach to risk management, but it's good that it's referenced in there, because that's something that was picked out of the corporate peer challenge. And then also about maximising the use of the council assets to be a clear purpose as we move forward, again with the asset management work that's going to be really key to this year ahead. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Bowers. Councillor Heath, are you indicating?
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I was just going to say, as the chairman of the scrutiny committee, I thank you for this document, because it gives me a nice, easy thing to be able to work to keep an eye on the council to make sure it's doing its aims, and I think it's a very easy document to read as well, which is important in this day and age, and if we can achieve the vast majority of it within the timescale, everybody in the room can be proud of themselves.
Thank you very much, Councillor Heath. No, that's really good to know. And the fact that it helps the sort of constructive process of scrutiny, I think that's a real double benefit. So that's good to hear. Thank you for that. Councillor Bowles-Flynn.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to reiterate and draw members' attention to the priority of working with Mid-Essex Alliance to develop a programme of local activities targeted towards addressing our priorities outlined in the Thriving Places Index, which is really important, and we've got an end date to that. But also the other thing that I would like to highlight is the introduction of the incentive scheme for landlords. We've started that, and it's already proving to be successful. So the staff are working extremely hard on that, and hopefully this will help more properties become available to rent, to assist those who are in need of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bowles-Flynn. If there's no other comments or questions, so I'd like to move recommendations 2.1, 2.2 to approve the annual plan 24-25 and to agree the Council's key actions and performance measures for 24-25. Cabinet colleagues, do I have your agreement? Agreed. Thank you. Therefore, let us move on to item 8, which is the homelessness and rough sleeping strategy 2024 to 2029. Councillor Bowles-Flynn, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. It gives me much privilege and pleasure to present this to members this evening, and I'm presenting the updated homelessness and rough sleeping strategy for Braintree District. Under the Homeless Act 2002, all housing authorities must have in place a homeless strategy, and the strategy must be renewed at least every 5 years. Over the last 6 months, consultations were held to engage with the public, focus groups, stakeholders and Essex County Council in order to facilitate the development of the homeless and rough sleeping strategy. The feedback from the consultation has been extremely positive, which is excellent to hear and see. And the 4 priorities within that strategy have been well received. With more pressure, as members are aware, on local housing, the strategy is designed to support households facing homelessness at an early stage to help reduce homelessness and rough sleeping in the district with the following 4 priorities. Prevent homelessness wherever possible, facilitate the delivery of suitable temporary accommodation, increase access to suitable accommodation and prevent and break the cycle of rough sleeping. Members will have heard me, and they will hear me keep saying it, that early intervention is so important where homelessness is threatened. An action plan has been drafted and will be delivered through the Homeless Prevention Partnership. This meeting takes place quarterly with our partners in the district who are working with those who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. Tonight I would like to Cabinet to approve and adopt the homelessness and rough sleeping strategy, which I hope they've all found interesting. Thank you.
Councillor Bowes-Flynn, thank you very much indeed for that. Any comments or questions, colleagues? What's a very comprehensive document. Councillor Bowers, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I'd very much like to welcome the document. This is very well set out, and as well as the evidence base and the information on the consultation, I think it's really good to see. The one thing that sort of caught my eye also is the amount of stakeholders that took part in the consultation. Literally everyone that you would expect to be consulted, but also showing interest in this has been listed who have fed into this. So that was really good to see, and also the information in regards to the digital impact in regards to the reach through sort of social media, as well as the physical and how everyone that's fed into the consultation. It's also good to see at least 85% of the wards of this district were represented or engaged into the consultation, which is very good to see. But I welcome this document, Chairman, and I'll be happy to support.
Councillor Bowers, thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Mrs Spray, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, this is an excellent document. I do think we are lucky, but I use that word advisedly in this district, not to have a very big homelessness problem compared to some other local authorities. But, you know, you could say that even one person or one family facing homelessness is one too many. I know that the officer team here, supported by my cabinet colleague, do work extremely hard to prevent homelessness. And as Councillor Bowes-Flynn said, that is the key, is to try and stop it in the first place before it becomes a reality for people. You know, I cannot imagine how distressing and horrible it must be for someone who suddenly finds himself in a situation, sometimes through no fault of their own, that they are facing the prospect of not having a roof over their heads. So very much welcome this document, which it's a very good read. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Spray. Councillor Bowes-Flynn, would you like to come back?
Yeah, just on the comments, and thank you, colleagues, for your kind comments on this strategy. But I just would like to point out, Chairman, that the consultation was an excellent result of the response. However, I put a lot of that down to our excellent staff, 2 of which are sitting in the audience this evening, and I think that they should take a lot of credit for this, because I've never seen a response like it on anything like that before. So it was excellent, and I do thank them and just let them know that how grateful we are for all the hard work that they put into it, and the success is proven right in front of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ms Bowes-Flynn. We associate ourselves with everything that Councillor Ms Bowes-Flynn's just said, and so thank you very much indeed. Councillor Van Dolken.
Thank you, Chairman. I too read this with great interest, and we can, of course, be thankful that we don't have yet, if that's the right word, the problems that other areas do have. But I happened to be in Halstead the other day, and there was a gentleman, I'll say a rough sleeper, in a bit of a state, and as there were two PCSOs or policemen there, and I went and spoke to them about it, because I think we've been told that we should report, or that residents should report these incidents, and they did know all about him. They knew him by name, that he was being assessed for accommodation, etc. So I was pleased that the interagency side of this seems to be working, and I hope that the gentleman himself manages to get a roof over his head.
Councillor Van Dalken, thank you for that. Any other comments or questions from colleagues? No. So if Councillor Bowers-Flint's happy to move the recommendation to adopt the Braintree District Council homeless and rough sleeping strategy as set out in Appendix A, Cabinet colleagues, agreement? Agreed? Thank you very much indeed. Which then moves us on to item 9, and that is the proposed variation to the Braintree District Council off-street parking places order 2023. And I go to Councillor Bowers. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The report before us tonight is to seek member approval to vary the Braintree District Council off-street parking places order 2023 to facilitate public parking on Friday evenings at the Causeway House car park in Braintree. The Braintree Institute approached the council to inquire about the possibility of introducing public parking at Causeway House on a Friday evening to accommodate people attending events at the venue. However, there may be other businesses, pubs, restaurants, etc., in the near vicinity that would also welcome additional parking on a Friday evening closer to this side of the town. The council already offers pay and display parking at Causeway House during the weekends, but parking from Monday to Friday has traditionally been restricted to councillors, staff, tenants and visitors to the building. Since COVID and the introduction of flexible working, demand for parking space at Causeway House has reduced, and with no evening meetings scheduled on Fridays, there is scope to extend the pay and display option to include Friday evenings. Members and staff would retain the option of free parking providing they are generally on council business and their vehicle is displaying their BDC permit, as is the case in the council's other pay and display car parks. If the variation was not approved, visitors to Braintree Inn Street as well as other visitors to the town would not be able to use the car park at Causeway House for public parking on a Friday evening. There will be some expenditure to implement the Friday evening parking at Causeway House. This will include a publication of a notice in the local newspaper, an update to the current tariff board and a software update to the current car parking ticket machines. However, these cost of changes will be funded within existing budgets. So I'd like members to just cast their eye to the recommendation as set out in section 2 of the report on page 95 to approve a variation to the Braintree District Council off-street parking places order to introduce pay and parking display at Causeway House car park Braintree on a Friday evening from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. the following day with effect from the 1st of August 2024. Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Bowers, thank you very much for that. Any comments or questions, colleagues? Councillor Dervish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I welcome and support the recommendations of the report to allow visitors to Braintree Institute to park at Causeway House on Friday evenings. The Institute is an integral part of Braintree Town Centre. This is Braintree's historic theatre and community hub and should be fully supported by the council in any way it can. A new chapter began last year for the Institute, which was built in 1862 with the appointment of 2 new directors who bring a wealth of experience to the heritage site and generate quality performances for the community and those further afield. From comedy acts to high-quality tribute acts such as Elton John, Ed Sheeran, Elvis, ABBA, the list goes on. The Institute brings something special to Braintree and really does need the council's support with this additional parking facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dervish. I think that's a really good additional positive element to this, to what we're proposing tonight. If we can give the Institute that sort of benefit, I think that's extremely positive. Any other comments or questions on that? I'm not seeing any. Councillor Bowers has moved. Cabinet colleagues, are we in agreement with the recommendation? Agreed. Thank you very much indeed. Which then moves us on to item 10, which is the Public Spaces Protection Order for Braintree Town Centre. Councillor Mary Cunningham, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The paper before you tonight is to propose the use of a Public Space Protection Order, PSPO, for Braintree Town Centre. The Home Office published statutory guidance in July 2014 to support the effective use of new powers to tackle antisocial behaviour through the Antisocial Behaviour Crime and Policing Act 2014. And public space protection orders are one of the tools available under the Act and can be used to prohibit specified activities and or require certain things to be done by people engaged in particular activities within a defined area. Braintree Town Centre has suffered for several years from unacceptable behaviour, including the consumption of alcohol, aggressive begging, threatening and disorderly behaviour, and despite a number of interventions being delivered by both the council and their partners, the behaviour continues and impacts on the council's business, local businesses and residents and those visiting the town centre. Through the Community Safety Partnership, we have carried out and introduced a range of interventions with a name of alleviating the issues. Whilst these have had some positive results, they have not solved the problem. So this further step is not something that has been taken lightly. Evidence-based and a lot of people have helped provide evidence. The introduction of a PSPO for Braintree Town Centre will mean such behaviours will not be permitted in the town, and breaching a PSPO without reasonable excuse is a criminal offence. On Friday evening, Councillor Dervish and myself had the privilege of joining BDC officers and the police to visit the town centre in the early evening. We were able to witness first-hand the issues that I've already outlined, which the various partners have to deal with on a daily basis. The introduction of a PSPO is Braintree Council, the police, businesses and residents saying enough is enough, this needs to be dealt with. Once a PSPO is underway, then there is a 28-day consultation. Various things have to be seen to. There are a number of engagement activities that take place. Businesses are written over 1,000 residents will be written to. Businesses will be written to and invited to join in the consultation. And as I said earlier, it is evidence-based, so evidence is being gathered to present before the PFCC and the District Commander of the Police. So I move the recommendation as set out on page 98 of the agenda. Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Mary Cunningham, thank you very much indeed. Any other comments or questions on that? Councillor Dervish, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank Councillor Mary Cunningham for her report and delivery, which was, I think she said basically everything that needs to be said here. As Councillor Cunningham said, after being out with the police Friday evening in Braintree Town Centre, we saw firsthand the antisocial behaviour which is affecting the town centre, and public space protection order will go a long way to aid and assist the police in keeping order and dispersing such behaviour, and welcome the order to give the police the very much needed tools that they desperately need. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dervish. Councillor Garrett.
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, I did witness some antisocial behaviour in the summer last year, which was very disappointing. And I know that every effort has been made to curtail this kind of behaviour. And it is very sad that we've come to this, but it is necessary. So I can't say that I'm pleased for it, but yes, it has to happen. Thank you very much.
Councillor Garrett, thank you. Councillor Van Dolken.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yes, as everyone has said, I think it's sad that it has come to this, but something should happen. We have a small increase, but a promising increase in the number of, I'll call them higher class, better class establishments that are trying to make a go of it in our town, which one would think or hope would not attract the heavy drinkers and the other people who are causing trouble. And if nothing is done to make the centre of Braintree a reasonably pleasant environment, then these businesses are not going to thrive. So I hope very much that something will come of this, and the main point I was going to make is that there will be some buy-in from the establishments which are selling alcohol, be it shops or pubs. I know that's not easy for them, but I think they have to be part of the solution too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Van Dalken. Any other comments or questions from colleagues on that? If not, Councillor Mary Cunningham's moved recommendations 2.1 and 2.2. So therefore, Cabinet colleagues in agreement? Agreed. Thank you very much. Colleagues, this brings us to the end of the evening's public agenda. And whilst we try to deal with matters in public session, on occasion there is need for Council to consider matters in private in order to protect its interests. Therefore, I seek your agreement to move into private session in accordance with paragraph 3, part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, so that we may attend to agenda item 12. Member colleagues, may I have your agreement? Thank you. Thank you, members. I now formally close this public part of Cabinet at 7:50.